Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we're navigating a complex but absolutely crucial process, challenging your NEBOSH assessment scores. If you're tuning in, chances are you, or maybe your learners, recently got some news that wasn't exactly what you were hoping for. And right now, you're looking for some solid answers on what to do next.
So, did your NEBOSH exam result not match your reasonable expectations? Look, I completely get the absolute frustration of opening up an exam result that just does not reflect your hard work. You put in the hours, you studied the material inside and out, and the final grade on the screen just doesn't make any sense. But hey, before you panic or throw in the towel, there actually is a structured path forward.
And to make sure we get this exactly right, we are going to strictly follow the official NEBOSH policy document for inquiries about results. We aren't relying on hearsay, forum rumors, or guesswork today. Nope. We are looking directly at the source documents to ensure you know exactly what your options are straight from NEBOSH themselves.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll cover understanding NEBOSH ERs, the 4 ER types, the application and deadlines, possible ER outcomes, and lastly, refunds and certificates.
Okay, Section 1. Understanding EARs. What exactly is an EAR, and who can actually apply for one?
Right, so an inquiry about a result, or an EAR, is basically a formal procedure. It allows learners, or learning partners, to request a review of an examination result that just doesn't meet reasonable expectations. It's essentially your official mechanism to ask NEBOSH to, double-check their math, or completely reevaluate your assessment. Think of it as your official right to raise a flag if you genuinely think an error has been made.
Moving on to Section 2, the 4 ear types. Let's figure out how to choose the right path for your specific exam.
For standard written assessments, you basically have two main options. The first is a Type 1 clerical check. Now, this simply verifies that all the parts were actually marked, that the math adding up your score is correct, and that those marks were transferred accurately into their database. That's it. No one is rereading your answers to see if they're any good. But the second option, a Type 2 remarking clerical check, now that is the heavy hitter. That involves a full manual remark by a team leader or moderator from scratch, which is then followed by that independent clerical check.
But what if you took a multiple-choice exam, or maybe you're a learning partner managing a whole group? Well, there are specific rules that dictate what kind of review you can actually request. For computer-mark multiple-choice units like EAW1, PSM1, and the others listed here, you're only allowed a clerical check. You literally cannot get a manual remark because a computer graded it. Makes sense, right? The exception is Unit MSW1, which does allow for a manual remark of the answer sheet. And finally, there are batch EARs. These are exclusively for learning partners who want to request a Type 2 remark for an entire cohort of students, all at once.
All right, Section 3, the application and deadlines, navigating the strict timeline and submission process.
I cannot stress this enough, time is absolutely not on your side here. Day 0 is your result notification date. That's the exact day the results officially come out. From that day, you have exactly 20 working days to submit your EAR application. That is a hard, strict deadline. Once you submitted it, if you requested a Type 1 or multiple choice check, you can expect an outcome in about 10 working days. But if you went for the full Type 2 remark or a batch request, you're going to be waiting up to 40 working days.
To really put this into perspective, let's look at how these fixed-date deadlines actually play out on a calendar. For example, if you took the November 2025 General Certificate, your hard deadline to apply is February 20th, 2026, and you wouldn't even get a Type 2 outcome until April 21st. Notice how far out these dates are? If you wait for your ER result before deciding to just book a reset, you might entirely miss the registration window for the next available exam. It is a really tricky balancing act.
So how do you actually apply? Please, whatever you do, do not try to email them a letter or a PDF. It won't work. You absolutely must follow these precise steps. Step 1, complete the online EAR application form directly via the NEBOSH website. Step 2, complete the payment through the WorldPay portal. Now heads up, this is a major stumbling block for a lot of people. Your bank card must be 3D Secure compliant. If your browser blocks pop-ups or your bank doesn't authenticate the 3D Secure prompt, your payment is going to fail and your application will not go through. Step 3, receive the automatic EAR acknowledgement email. This email will include your expected outcome date and is your absolute proof that the application is officially in motion.
Section 4, possible ER outcomes. Let's talk about the realities and the real risks of requesting a remark.
I want to read this direct quote straight from the NEBOSH policy because this is huge.
A Type 2 ER does not guarantee that a mark or grade will be adjusted upwards. It is important to note that a mark or grade may also be adjusted downwards. Please pay close attention here, because invoking an ER opens the door for your grade to drop even lower than it already is. Think about it. When you ask them to reevaluate your test, they reevaluate everything, and they might actually find mistakes the first grader totally missed.
As you can clearly see, an upward trajectory is only one of 3 possible outcomes. Your mark could go up, sure, it could remain completely unchanged, or it could go down. If you are sitting right on the border of a pass and a referral, asking for a remark is a genuine gamble. You could very easily lose points you already had in the bag.
Finally, Section 5, Refunds and Certificates, defining success and, importantly, getting your money back.
Okay, so you only get your EAR fee refunded if 2 very specific things happen. Your raw mark adjusts upwards and your overall grade bracket adjusts upwards. For example, moving from a refer to a pass. If your mark goes up, but you still stay in the exact same grade bracket, say moving from a lower refer to a slightly higher refer, that is considered an unsuccessful EIR, and you get absolutely 0 refund. And naturally, if your mark is unchanged or goes down, there's no refund either. For NEBOSH, success is strictly defined as an upward overall grade change.
But hey, if you do hit that success criteria, the benefits are fantastic. NEBOSH will refund your EAR fee in full. Furthermore, if you had booked a future registration fee for a resit, just in case your EAR failed, they will actually refund that resit fee too. Finally, they will issue you a shiny new certificate with your upgraded score completely for free while officially voiding your old one.
So, knowing the risks, the incredibly strict deadlines, and the very specific refund criteria, you have to ask yourself this final question. Is the gamble of an ERE right for your specific situation, or is it time to simply hit the books again and study for the reset? It's a really tough call when grades can go down just as easily as they can go up. But hopefully, by walking through all of this today, you now have the clear, structured facts you need to make a truly informed decision for your learning journey. So what's your next move going to be?